The fluorescent lights in the South Side Chicago police precinct buzz overhead like angry wasps. It's 2 in the morning, and I can taste copper in my mouth from biting the inside of my cheek during the drive here. When Sergeant Miller called, his voice was careful, measured. "Miss Baker, we have your niece and nephew here. They're safe, but we need you to come down." I'd thrown on whatever clothes I could find and driven through the blizzard, gripping my steering wheel so hard my knuckles went white. Cooper and Piper are here. They're safe. That's all that matters. But Miller doesn't lead me to the children. His hand on my elbow is firm, almost forceful, as he guides me past the waiting area where I catch a glimpse of silver emergency blankets. He steers me into an interrogation room instead. The door closes with a click that sounds too final. Miller drops a plastic evidence bag on the metal table between us. Inside is a crumpled note, and even through the clouded plastic, I can see my name scrawled across it in Sloane's handwriting. "Miss Baker." Miller's voice has lost all warmth. "Can you explain why a wealthy Lincoln Park architect would send 2 small children to a frozen industrial wasteland in the middle of a blizzard?" The words hit me like a fist to the stomach. "What? I didn't—" "Child abandonment is a felony in Illinois." He leans forward, and I can smell the coffee on his breath. "Child trafficking carries even heavier penalties. You want to start explaining?" My hands shake. This isn't real. This can't be happening. There's been a mistake, I say, but my voice comes out strangled. "I live at 2400 North Clark, Lincoln Park. The children, where were they found?" Miller's eyes don't leave my face. 2400 South Clark Street, an abandoned industrial park, during a blizzard warning, dressed in summer clothes. The difference hits me like ice water. North versus south. 1 letter. 2 completely different worlds. My address is tree-lined streets and boutique coffee shops. South Clark at that number is warehouses and broken streetlights and nowhere a child should ever be, especially not at night, especially not in January. I have to stop, breathe. I told my sister no. I sent her an email. I have proof. Miller crosses his arms. "People send emails to cover their tracks all the time, Miss Baker. You'd be surprised how often we see that. 12 hours ago, I was at my drafting table, racing against a deadline that could make or break my career. The City Park bid. 3 years of work, compressed into one final presentation due Monday morning. When Sloane called, I was eyebrow deep in elevation drawings. "Wren, thank God you answered." Her voice had that manic edge I've learned to recognize. "I need you to watch Cooper and Piper tonight. Preston surprised me with a trip to Aspen and we're leaving in 2 hours. I can't. I told you last week I have that deadline. This is important, Wren. Family is important." The familiar guilt tried to claw its way up my throat, but I'd swallowed it down. "I will not be home tonight. Do not bring them to my apartment. I will not answer the door." I'd hung up and immediately sent an email at 3:30 p.m., just to be clear, just to have it in writing. "I will not be home. Do not bring them. I will not open the door." Now Miller is watching me like I'm a liar, like I'm the kind of person who would endanger children. "The email could have been sent after the fact," he says. "Or you could have changed your mind and panicked when they didn't show up. Can I see them?" My voice cracks. "Please, I need to see that they're okay." Something shifts in Miller's expression. Maybe it's the desperation in my voice. Or maybe he's just giving me enough rope to hang myself. He stands up. "Follow me." I push back my chair and follow him down the hall to a darkened observation room. Through the one-way glass, I see them. Cooper is wrapped in one of those silver emergency blankets, the kind marathoners wear. He's shaking so hard I can see it from here, his whole body convulsing with cold or shock or both. Piper sits next to him, clutching her stuffed bear, and her eyes are vacant, empty, like she's somewhere else entirely, somewhere her mind had to go to survive what happened tonight. My knees buckle. I catch myself on the glass. That fog descends, the one that's been my companion for 28 years. The voice that whispers, "Fix this. Protect Sloane. Take the blame. You're the responsible one. That's your job." I could do it. I could tell Miller it was all a misunderstanding, that I'd meant to say yes, that the address confusion was an honest mistake. I could make this go away for everyone. Everyone except Cooper and Piper. The Uber driver, Miller says behind me, was told their father was waiting for them. She dropped them at the curb and drove away. I close my eyes. "You should thank God for Mr. Henderson." the night security guard at the industrial park. If he hadn't heard them banging on his booth, screaming for help. Miller pauses, lets the silence fill in what he's not saying. You'd be identifying bodies at the morgue right now, Miss Baker. 2 frozen children. The blood drains from my face so fast I have to grip the windowsill. This wasn't a mistake. This was calculated. Sloane knew I said no. She read that email I checked, and the read receipt showed 3:47 p.m. She'd opened it, absorbed every word, and then she'd done this anyway. Punishment for daring to set a boundary. Punishment for choosing my career over her convenience. She'd sent them to die. I turned to face Miller. My hands are still shaking, but my voice is steady. I didn't call that Uber. I have the email I sent refusing to babysit. I have proof I told her no. I meet his eyes and don't look away, and I'm not covering for her this time. The words feel like stepping off a cliff. 28 years of conditioning, of being the good daughter, the reliable sister, the family fixer, all of it crumbles away. Miller studies my face for a long moment. Then he motions back toward the hallway. Let's go back to the table, Miss Baker. We'll start from the beginning. Miller's phone sits on the metal table between us like a grenade. You said you can prove you told her no. Let's see it. My fingers fumble with my phone, pulling up the email thread. The timestamp glares back at me. 3:30 p.m. Read receipt. 3:47 p.m. I slide the phone across to Miller, watching his eyes scan the words I'd typed 12 hours ago, back when I'd still believed a clear boundary might be enough. I need to make a call, I say. My voice sounds hollow. Declan, her husband, he's in Cleveland for a conference. He can verify I never agreed to this. Miller studies me for another long moment, then nods. FaceTime. I want to see his face when he answers. My hands shake as I dial. The phone rings once, twice. Then Declan's face fills the screen, the quiet hum of a hotel room behind him. He rubs his eyes, looking exhausted. Ren? His voice is rough with sleep. I just got into Cleveland. It's 3 a.m, what? Miller leans into the frame. Mr. Montgomery, this is Sergeant Miller, Chicago Police. I need you to verify something for me. Did your wife tell you that her sister agreed to watch your children tonight? Declan's face goes white. Actually white, like someone pulled a plug and drained all the blood out. Watch the kids? Ren's working tonight. She told Sloane she couldn't. He stops. I watch understanding crash over him like a wave. Where are Cooper and Piper? Safe, Miller says. Barely. They were dropped off at an abandoned industrial park on the south side during a blizzard. We found them at 2400 South Clark Street. South Clark? Declan's voice cracks. Ren lives on North Clark. How did... Another pause. Longer this time. When he speaks again, his voice is ice. I need to access my home security system. Ring camera. Give me 2 minutes. Miller and I sit in silence while Declan works. I can hear him typing, muttering under his breath, the fury building in each keystroke. Then my phone buzzes. A video file. Miller opens it on his department laptop. The timestamp reads 5 p.m. Our house. The front door. Sloane staggers into frame. A wineglass dangles from her left hand, the stem gripped so loosely it's a miracle it doesn't shatter on the floor. She's swaying, actually swaying, like a tree in high wind. Cooper appears, his voice small on the recording. Mommy, where's our coats? She doesn't answer, just pushes him toward the door with her free hand. Piper comes next, wearing a summer dress in January. Sloane shoves them both outside and the door slams. Not once does she look at her phone. Not once does she check the Uber destination. She sends her children into a blizzard in summer clothes and goes back inside for more wine. Miller's jaw tightens. I'll need that file sent to this email address. Already done, Declan says through the phone. His voice sounds like gravel. I'm getting on the next flight back. Don't let her anywhere near my kids. The call ends. Miller closes his laptop with a click that echoes in the small room. You're cleared, Miss Baker. I'll need your formal statement, but you're not being charged. He stands. Your sister, however, will be arrested for child endangerment the moment we locate her. The relief should feel bigger. Instead, it's just a small crack of light in a very dark room. 4 hours later, I'm sitting in the precinct's waiting area when they arrive. Preston and Lenore Baker sweep through the doors like they own the building, their designer luggage still tagged from the airport. They must have turned around mid-flight when Miller contacted them. They walk right past the room where their grandchildren are wrapped in blankets, still shaking. Walk right past them without a glance. Preston spots me and changes trajectory. Lenore follows, her heels clicking on the linoleum like a countdown. Ren, Preston's voice is clipped. We need to talk. Privately. I'm not leaving the children. The children are fine. Lenore's hand lands on my arm, perfectly manicured nails digging in just enough to hurt. What we need to discuss is damage control. Do you have any idea what this will do to Preston's company stock if it hits the police blotter? I stare at her. Your grandchildren almost froze to death. Don't be dramatic. Preston pulls out his checkbook. Right there in the police station, he pulls out his checkbook like we're at a country club settling a golf bet. He writes with smooth, practiced strokes, then slides the check across the table. $50,000. Made out to me, the memo line is blank. Consider it a gift. Preston says, tapping the paper. An early birthday present, but gifts are for family members who support each other, Ren, not for those who cause scandals. He lowers his voice. Tell the police it was a family miscommunication. You gave Sloan the wrong address by accident. Do that, and the check is yours. No harm done, he adds. No harm? My voice comes out strangled. Cooper was hypothermic. Piper won't speak. Ace. Lenore leans in close. The smell of her perfume makes my stomach turn. This is what family does, Ren. We protect each other. You tell them it was a mistake, and this all goes away. Think of Sloan. Think of her reputation. Something inside me breaks. Not shatters, just quietly disconnects, like a rope that's been fraying for years, finally giving way. I pull out my phone and open the voice recording app. Then I slide it back into my pocket, still recording. So you want me to lie to the police? I say clearly. Tell them I gave Sloan the wrong address, in exchange for $50,000. Preston's face flushes. Don't make this sound sordid. We're offering to forgive your student loans. A gift in exchange for perjury. Think about the family, Lenore hisses. Think about everything we've done for you. I pick up the check. For a moment, I just look at it. A $50,000. My student debt, gone. The pressure, gone. All I have to do is lie. All I have to do is let them win one more time. I tear it in half. The sound is surprisingly loud in the quiet waiting area. Preston's face goes from red to purple. I'm not covering for her anymore, I say. Not for you. Not for anyone. You'll regret this. Preston's voice drops low. Dangerous. You have no idea what you've just done. I know exactly what I've done. The precinct doors open again. Declan walks in, ignoring Preston and Lenore completely. He looks ragged, like he ran all the way from O'Hare, but he goes straight to the room where the children are, drops to his knees, and pulls them both into his arms. The first parent to prioritize them all night. Behind him, a woman in a charcoal suitcase enters. Elena Russo. The family law attorney I called 2 hours ago while sitting in this waiting area, watching my parents' true natures reveal themselves. Elena's eyes meet mine. She nods once. The war has started. But this time, I'm not fighting alone. In the morning, I'm staring at my phone when the first notification pops up. A Facebook tag, then another, then 5 more in rapid succession. My stomach drops before I even open them. Sloane's face fills my screen, makeup streaked artfully down her cheeks. The photo is professionally lit, like she waited for the golden hour to post her misery. The caption makes my hands shake. When your own sister turns against you during the darkest moment of your life, I trusted her with my babies. I don't understand what went wrong, praying for understanding and forgiveness. The comments are already piling up. Dozens of them. Hundreds. Oh my God, Sloan, I'm so sorry. Family should stick together. This is awful. What kind of sister does this? My phone rings. Aunt Carol. I silence it. It rings again. Uncle Jim, then Cousin Beth, then numbers I don't even recognize. I'm sitting on my apartment floor in yesterday's clothes, watching my entire extended family turn against me in real time, when my work phone buzzes. Marcus wants to see me. Now. The elevator ride to the senior partner's office feels like riding to my execution. I've worked at this firm for 6 years, clawed my way up from intern to associate. The City Park bid was supposed to be my breakthrough, proof I could handle major projects. Now I'm about to lose everything because my sister is a monster, and my parents have money. Marcus's assistant won't meet my eyes as she waves me in. He's standing at his window overlooking the Chicago River, hands clasped behind his back. On his desk, I can see the glow of his laptop screen. Sit down, Ren. I sit. My throat is so tight I can barely swallow. Marcus turns around, and I brace for the words. We have to let you go. The firm's reputation. I'm sure you understand. Instead, he rotates his laptop to face me. The email is from Preston Baker. Subject line: Urgent matter regarding employee conduct. I skim it. Each word a fresh knife wound. Child endangerment. Police investigation. Unfit to represent the firm. The contract he's referencing, $2.3 million for a mixed-use development in Evanston, sits there like a threat. Keep Ren Baker employed, lose the contract. Mr. Baker sent this to me and the other 3 senior partners at 6:42 this morning, Marcus says. I can't breathe. This is it. 6 years, gone. I don't like bullies, Ren. My head snaps up. Marcus closes the laptop with a deliberate click. I've known Preston Baker for 15 years. He's a mediocre developer who inherited his father's company and has been coasting ever since. His contracts are never as valuable as he claims, and his threats are usually empty. The $2.3 million is actually $1.8 million, and we both know it. Marcus sits down across from me. More importantly, I called Sergeant Miller this morning. He told me what really happened. Showed me the ring footage. The relief hits so hard I have to grip the chair arms. You're not firing me? Firing you. Marcus actually laughs, but there's no humor in it. Ren, you just saved 2 children from freezing to death. Your sister belongs in jail, and your father belongs in the same cell for trying to cover it up. He leans forward. You have the firm's full support, whatever you need. Take paid leave if you need time to handle the legal battle. Use our attorneys if it helps. But you are not losing your job over this. Something cracks open in my chest. For the first time in 3 days, I can take a full breath. I don't know what to say. Say you'll bury them. Marcus's eyes are steel. People like your father think money makes them untouchable. Prove him wrong. When I leave his office 20 minutes later, I'm crying in the elevator. But these aren't tears of despair anymore. That evening, I'm at the hotel where Declan has set up temporary residence with Cooper and Piper. It's an extended stay place in Lincoln Park, close enough to my apartment that I can walk over, close enough that the kids don't feel completely uprooted. The room smells like pasta sauce. Declan is at the kitchenette, stirring a pot of spaghetti while Cooper sits at the small table, pencil moving carefully across paper. Aunt Wren. Piper crashes into my legs, and I scoop her up. She's warm and solid and alive. Hey, Butterfly. What are you drawing? Cooper's teaching me buildings. She wriggles down and drags me to the table. Cooper's sketch is surprisingly good. Clean lines, proper perspective. It's my apartment building, rendered in careful detail. This is amazing, Coop. He shrugs, but his ears turn pink. You made it look easy when you showed me your drawings. We eat dinner together. Real dinner, not the frozen meals I usually microwave. Declan made garlic bread. There's salad. Piper tells me about a butterfly she saw even though it's January and I'm pretty sure she imagined it. Cooper stays quiet but eats 3 helpings. It feels normal. Bizarrely, impossibly normal. After dinner, while Declan does dishes, Piper climbs into my lap on the couch. Aunt Wren? Her voice is small. Are you mad at Mommy? Every answer I could give feels like a landmine. I choose my words carefully. I'm sad she made choices that hurt you. Piper nods against my shoulder. She was drinking the special juice, the kind that makes her voice loud. Wine. She means wine. I close my eyes and hold her tighter. Cooper appears in the doorway, his sketch pad clutched to his chest. He's been so quiet since the police station, barely speaking above a whisper. I thought we were going to die in the snow. The words are flat, factual, worse than crying would be. Declan freezes at the sink, his back rigid. I kept telling Piper we'd be okay, but I didn't believe it. It was so cold. And there was nobody there, just empty buildings and snow. Cooper's knuckles are white around his sketch pad. I couldn't feel my fingers. Piper stopped crying, and I thought, I cross the room and pull him into my arms. He's 9 years old, and he shouldn't know what it feels like to think he's dying. You were so brave. I whisper into his hair. You kept your sister safe. You found help. You were so brave. I don't want to be brave. His voice cracks. I want to be a kid. Later, after both children are asleep in the bedroom, Declan and I sit in the dim kitchenette. He's drinking coffee even though it's nearly midnight. I'm drinking tea that's gone cold. I've been blind, he says finally. She's been drinking for years, hasn't she? I could lie. Protect Sloane one more time. But Cooper's words are still echoing in my head. I thought we were going to die. Yes, since before Piper was born. Declan's jaw tightens. You knew. I knew. I covered for her. I made excuses. The confession tastes like ash. I thought I was helping. I thought if I just supported her enough, loved her enough, she'd stop. We can't fix people who don't want to be fixed. The silence stretches between us, but it's not uncomfortable. We're both mourning the same thing, the family we thought we had. I'm filing for sole custody tomorrow, Declan says. My phone buzzes before I can respond. Elena Russo, texting at midnight. Sloane filed an emergency motion for immediate return of the children, hearing in 10 days. She's claiming you gave the driver the wrong address out of jealousy, and that Declan is guilty of parental kidnapping. I show Declan the message. His face goes carefully blank, the way it does when he's furious. Let her try, he says quietly. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from an unknown number, but I know who it is before I even read it. You started this war. We'll finish it. Preston. I look at Declan. He's staring at the bedroom door, where his children are finally sleeping peacefully for the first time in days. Are we ready for this? I ask. We're protecting the children. His voice is steady. Final. Whatever it takes. The next morning, Elena's office smells like old books and strong coffee. We sit in leather chairs that probably cost more than my monthly rent, and she's laying out her battle plan with the precision of a surgeon marking incision points. We're not going for the knockout in the preliminary hearing, she says, sliding a yellow legal pad across the desk. Her handwriting is sharp, angular. We're setting a trap. Declan leans forward. But we have the email, the ring footage. We can end this now. The footage shows negligence, maybe intoxication, Elena counters, tapping her pen against the pad. But a good lawyer and Preston will hire the best will argue it was a momentary lapse in judgment, not criminal intent. They'll plead for rehab and family therapy. You want that? No, I say instantly. Then we need her to lie, Elena says. If she testifies under oath that you agreed to watch them, and we prove she's lying, that destroys her credibility completely. It proves she's manipulative and unfit. That's how we get full custody, not just temporary. She looks between us. She'll feel confident. She'll double down. And when we prove she lied under oath in the custody trial, Judge Okonkwo will throw the book at her. Declan's jaw tightens. How long do we have to wait? 30 days after the preliminary. Court schedules are backed up. Elena closes the legal pad with a snap. Can you both hold your nerve that long? Kind. I think about Cooper's shaking hands, Piper's vacant stare through the police station glass. I think about Sloane's wine glass caught on camera, the way she shoved them out the door into a blizzard. Whatever it takes, I say. On the preliminary hearing, the Cook County Family Court is all dark wood paneling and fluorescent lighting, the kind of institutional space designed to make you feel small. The gallery benches are hard, unforgiving. I chose my outfit carefully this morning, a simple gray sweater, no jewelry, my hair pulled back. I want to look exhausted, defeated. It's not hard to fake. Sloane sweeps in 20 minutes before the hearing, wearing cream-colored wool and understated pearls. Her makeup is perfect, her expression carefully composed into wounded dignity. She doesn't look at me as she takes her seat at the plaintiff's table. Preston and Lenore claim the front row of the gallery like it's a box seat at the opera. Preston's suit probably costs more than my car payment. Lenore's perfume reaches me 3 rows back, something expensive and cloying. When Judge Patricia Okonkwo enters, we all rise. She's a tall black woman with silver-streaked hair and the kind of face that's seen every lie the legal system has to offer. Her eyes sweep the courtroom with the efficiency of someone who has no patience for games. Be seated. Her voice cuts through the nervous shuffling. Let's proceed. Sloane's attorney is a smooth-talking partner from some downtown firm Preston probably plays golf with. He calls Sloane to the stand, and she takes the oath with her hand on the Bible, her voice clear and steady. Miss Baker Montgomery, the attorney begins, can you tell the court what happened on the night of January 14th? Sloane dabs at her eyes with a tissue, though I notice they're dry. I was supposed to leave for a business trip with my father. I'd arranged for my sister Wren to watch Cooper and Piper. She'd agreed to babysit. My fingernails dig into my palms. How did you arrange this? The attorney prompts. We spoke on the phone that afternoon. She said yes, to send them over. Sloane's voice wavers, perfectly calibrated. I gave the Uber driver her address 2400 North Clark Street, where Wren lives in Lincoln Park. I don't know how the children ended up on the south side. Perhaps the driver made a mistake. Perhaps there was confusion. Elena sits beside me, writing in her legal pad. She doesn't object, doesn't interrupt, just lets the lies stack up, like kindling, waiting for a match. Are you certain your sister agreed to watch the children? The attorney asks. Absolutely certain. She said yes on the phone. I would never have sent them otherwise. The tissue comes up again. This time Sloane actually squeezes out a tear. No further questions, Your Honor. Judge Okonkwo looks at Elena. Cross-examination? Elena rises slowly. She's wearing a charcoal suit that makes her look like a blade. Just a few questions, Your Honor. She approaches the witness stand, and I can see Sloane's shoulders relax slightly. This will be quick. Painless. Miss Baker Montgomery, you testified that your sister verbally agreed to babysit. Is that correct? Yes. And you gave the driver her Lincoln Park address? Yes. 2400 North Clark. You're certain she agreed? Under oath, you're testifying that Wren Baker told you yes? Something flickers in Sloane's eyes. Uncertainty, maybe, or the first whisper of suspicion. But she's committed now. She can't back down in front of Preston and Lenore, in front of the judge. Absolutely certain, she said yes. Elena nods slowly, like she's accepting this answer. No further questions, Your Honor. That's it. No email, no ring footage, no dramatic reveal. Sloane's attorney looks confused, and I can see Preston lean forward, whispering something to Lenore. Judge Okonkwo reviews her notes. This appears to be a family miscommunication that resulted in a dangerous situation. Miss Baker, I'm troubled that you didn't ensure clearer arrangements for the children's safety. The words land like stones. I force myself not to react. However, given the circumstances and the lack of clear evidence, I'm maintaining the status quo. Mr. Montgomery retains temporary custody. Miss Baker Montgomery, you're granted supervised visitation twice weekly, supervised by a court-appointed social worker. The gavel comes down. Next case. The courtroom empties into the marble hallway, and Sloane is immediately surrounded by Preston and Lenore. Their smiles are triumphant, vicious. Preston catches my eye as I pass. He steps deliberately into my path. You should have taken the check, Wren. His voice is low, meant only for me. Family always wins. Lenore's hand touches my arm, her grip tight enough to bruise. This isn't over, dear, but you've already lost. Sloane is performing for a small cluster of reporters who somehow got wind of the hearing. I just want my babies back, she says, voice breaking. A mother's love never gives up. The cameras eat it up. I keep walking toward the parking garage, my footsteps echoing in the stairwell. Declan and Elena follow silently. We don't speak until we're inside Elena's car. Doors closed, engine running. Elena closes her leather notebook with a sharp snap. She's on the record now, she says. Every lie is documented, time-stamped, under oath. I stare at the concrete pillar in front of us. But we lost today. We let her think she won. Elena's smile is cold, predatory. Now we own her. Declan's hands grip the steering wheel. Understanding dawns across his face. She just committed perjury. And in 30 days, Elena says, we prove it. The concrete pillar blurs as my eyes fill. Not with defeat, with something sharper, cleaner, hope. On the second confrontation, The courtroom feels smaller this time, more suffocating. Maybe it's the press packed into the gallery, their cameras clicking like hungry insects. Maybe it's the way Preston sits front and center, his charcoal suit pressed sharp enough to draw blood, that same smug smile playing at his lips. Sloane sweeps in wearing ivory, of course, ivory, the color of innocence, her hair styled in soft waves that frame her face. She clutches tissues in one hand like props in a play she's rehearsed too many times. The society page photographers eat it up. I can already see the headline, "Mother Fights for Her Children." I smooth my plain gray sweater and try not to feel small. Declan's hand finds mine under the table, just for a second. His palm is steady, warm. Elena sits beside us, her slim folder closed on the table in front of her. She looks almost bored, flipping through her phone while we wait for Judge Okonkwo to enter. All rise. The courtroom rustles to its feet. Judge Okonkwo's face is carved stone as she takes her seat, and I remember the way she'd looked at me during the preliminary hearing, like I was careless, irresponsible. A woman who couldn't even communicate properly with her own sister. Today, that's going to change. "Miss Russo," the judge says, "you may call your first witness." Elena stands, and there's something predatory in the way she moves. "Your Honor, I'd like to recall Sloane Baker Montgomery to the stand." Sloane's attorney objects, of course, but the judge waves him off. Sloane walks to the witness stand with her chin high, confident. She thinks this is just cleanup, a formality before her inevitable victory. The bailiff reminds her she's still under oath from her earlier testimony. "Mrs. Montgomery." Elena begins, her voice deceptively gentle. "During the preliminary hearing last month, you testified under oath about the events of January 14th. Is that correct?" "Yes." Sloane's voice is steady. "And you stated that your sister, Wren Baker, verbally agreed to babysit your children that evening, correct?" "That's right." Sloane glances at the jury, playing wounded. "She said yes, and then she just wasn't there." "And you gave the Uber driver her address? 2400 North Clark Street?" "Of course I did." Sloane's confidence grows. "I would never send my children to the wrong place. I'm their mother." The courtroom murmurs its approval. Preston nods, satisfied. Elena turns to the screen, mounted beside the judge's bench. "Your Honor, I'd like to enter Exhibit A into evidence." The projector hums to life. An email fills the screen, and I watch Sloane's face drain of color as she reads her own name in the recipient line. From Wren Baker to Sloane Montgomery sent, January 14, 3:30 p.m. Subject, tonight. I will not be home. Do not bring them. I will not open the door. Read receipt. Open January 14, 3:47 p.m. The timestamp glows like an accusation. 6 hours before she sent those children into the blizzard, the courtroom erupts in whispers. Someone in the press section gasps audibly, "Mrs. Montgomery." Elena's voice cuts through the noise. "You opened this email at 3:47 p.m. You read it, and yet you testified under oath that your sister agreed to babysit. Which statement is true?" Sloane's mouth opens, closes. Her lawyer is on his feet, objecting, but Judge Okonkwo silences him with a look that could freeze fire. "Answer the question, Mrs. Montgomery." I forgot about the email. I thought." "You forgot an email you opened 6 hours before the incident?" Elena doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't need to. An email that explicitly stated, in capital letters, that Miss Baker would not be home? The tissues in Sloane's hand are shredded now, little white flakes falling to the floor. "Let's move on," Elena says. "Your Honor, I'd like to play Exhibit B." The screen shifts to video footage. I recognize the angle immediately, the Ring camera from Sloane and Declan's front door. The timestamp reads 5 p.m. The Sloane on screen is nothing like the Sloane on the witness stand. Her hair is messy, her cashmere sweater askew. She's holding a wine glass in one hand, and when she moves, she sways. Not dramatically, just enough to notice. Cooper appears at her side, already wearing his jacket. "Mommy, where's our coats?" Sloane ignores him. She opens the door, the blizzard is visible even through the camera, snow driving sideways, and ushers both children outside. Piper is wearing a thin cotton dress amidst a blizzard. The gallery reacts with audible horror. I hear someone say, "Oh my God." Sloane never checks her phone, never confirms the address with the Uber driver idling at the curb. She just closes the door, wineglass still in hand, and the last image before the footage ends is Cooper's small face turning back toward the house, confused and frightened. Judge Okonkwo's expression has gone from stone to thunder. "Mrs. Montgomery," Elena says, and her voice is sharp enough to cut. "Were you intoxicated when you sent your children out into a blizzard warning without proper winter clothing?" "I had one glass." "One glass? The footage shows you holding wine at 5 p.m., hours before your scheduled flight. How many glasses had you consumed by that point?" Sloane's lawyer tries to object again. The judge overrules him without looking away from Sloane. "I don't remember exactly." "You don't remember?" Elena nods slowly. "Just like you didn't remember the email." My hands are clenched so tight my nails cut into my palms. Declan's breathing has gone shallow beside me. "Your Honor," Elena continues, "I have one final piece of evidence. Exhibit C." She presses play on the audio file, and Preston's voice fills the courtroom, crystal clear, unmistakable. "Consider it a gift, an early birthday present." My mother's voice follows, saccharine and poisonous. "Tell them you gave her the wrong address. These things happen." Preston again, "Do that, and the check is yours." The recording continues for 30 seconds. 30 seconds of my parents trying to buy my silence, to make me complicit in endangering their own grandchildren. Preston is on his feet, his face purple. "That recording is illegal. She didn't have permission." "Your conversation took place in a police station waiting area, Mr. Baker," Judge Okonkwo says, and her voice could shatter glass. "There is no reasonable expectation of privacy in a public municipal building. The recording is admissible. Sit down." He sits. The judge turns to Sloane. "And I've never seen anyone look so small on a witness stand. Mrs. Montgomery, you have committed perjury in my courtroom. You have demonstrated a pattern of reckless endangerment of your own children. You have shown a willingness to lie under oath to obtain custody of children you nearly killed through negligence." She pauses, and the silence is deafening. "Bailiff, detain the witness." Sloane screams, actually screams, a high-pitched wail that echoes off the wood-paneled walls. Her lawyer is protesting, but 2 bailiffs are already moving toward the witness stand. "Your Honor, please. You will be charged with perjury, child endangerment, and reckless conduct." Judge Okonkwo continues, her voice cutting through Sloane's sobs. "You have betrayed every trust placed in you as a mother and as an officer of this court." The bailiffs take Sloane by the arms. Her mascara is running now, black streaks down her ivory dress. She's crying real tears, the kind that come from genuine fear rather than performance. The press is going wild, cameras flashing, voices shouting questions. Preston tries to stand, to say something, but Judge Okonkwo's glare pins him to his seat like a butterfly to cork. "As for the custody matter," the judge says, turning to her notes, "I am awarding sole legal and physical custody to Declan Montgomery, effective immediately. Sloane Montgomery's parental rights are terminated pending the outcome of her criminal trial." She looks at me, and for the first time, there's something almost kind in her expression. "Wren Baker is designated permanent emergency guardian, Mr. and Mrs. Preston Baker. Your visitation rights are suspended pending psychological evaluation. All court costs, and Miss Baker's legal fees, are the responsibility of Mrs. Sloane Montgomery." The gavel comes down like a gunshot. Sloane is let out in handcuffs, still crying, her perfect hair coming undone. Preston and Lenore sit frozen, their empire of control crumbling around them in real time. The press swarms them, microphones thrust forward, questions overlapping in a cacophony of scandal. Declan pulls Cooper and Piper close. They've been waiting in the hallway with a court advocate, but someone brings them in now, and Piper runs straight to her father's arms. "I'm crying. I can't help it." But these aren't tears of triumph, they're relief. Pure, overwhelming relief that it's finally over. Elena closes her folder with a quiet snap and gives me the smallest nod. Justice served. 3 years pass like water finding its level. The trees along Lincoln Park turn gold again, the 3rd autumn since that frozen night, and I'm standing in the crowd at Millennium Park watching Mayor Reyes cut the ribbon on the Safe Harbor Garden. The design won the city bid. My design, the one I almost sacrificed to answer Sloane's call that January night. Reporters cluster around the mayor, cameras flashing, but I'm watching the children streaming toward the play structures. The centerpiece is a climbing tower with protective netting, inspired by Cooper's hotel sketches during those first terrible days. Not a memorial, A sanctuary. Marcus claps me on the shoulder. Hell of a thing, Baker. Your name's going on a plaque. I shake my head, throat tight. The work speaks for itself. That evening, I stand in my kitchen chopping vegetables for Sunday dinner, while Cooper sketches elevation drawings at my table. He's 12 now, all gangly limbs and serious concentration. His pencil moves with the same precision I use on blueprints. Aunt Wren, how do you make the perspective lines converge without them looking wobbly? I lean over his shoulder, guiding his ruler placement. Anchor your vanishing point first. Everything else follows. The downstairs door opens and Piper barrels in, paint splattered across her art class smock. She's 9, no longer the hollow-eyed child from the police station. Her laughter fills the kitchen as she shows me her watercolor of the Chicago skyline. It's for your office, she announces. So you remember us when you're being important. Declan follows, carrying groceries for dinner. We live in a 2-flat now, separate apartments but shared meals, shared lives, not romance, something better. Family built on choice rather than blood. Later, Cooper's middle school graduation ceremony fills the auditorium with proud parents and restless siblings. I sit between Declan and Marcus, watching Cooper take the stage as valedictorian. His suit is slightly too big, bought with room to grow, and his hands shake holding his speech. Real family, he says, voice cracking then steadying, are the people who show up when you're scared. His eyes find mine in the crowd. I'm crying before I can stop myself, and Declan squeezes my hand. The standing ovation thunders through the auditorium. Cooper grins, embarrassed and proud, and I think about the shivering boy in the silver blanket, how far we've traveled from that frozen night. My journal entry that night is short. I used to think love meant accepting everything. Now I know love requires boundaries. The next afternoon, Cooper sprawls on my couch, troubled. My friend Jake, his mom keeps borrowing money from him, like his birthday money, his summer job savings. Is that normal? I set down my coffee carefully. What does Jake say about it? He feels guilty saying no. She's his mom. The familiar trap. I recognize it like my own reflection. You can love someone and still protect yourself, Cooper. Those two things aren't opposites. He considers this, then nods slowly. The lesson landing. The cycle breaking. I never responded to Preston and Lenore's letters. They arrived monthly at first, then quarterly, then stopped. Peace found me in distance, not reconciliation. Some relationships don't heal, they just end. The news about Sloan reaches me through Elena's network, remarried to Dr. Brandon Wells, a Connecticut surgeon, a new baby Emma, a fresh start built on hidden truths. Until the baby fell from a changing table. A minor bump, a precautionary hospital visit, a routine background check. The CPS flag appeared like a ghost. Termination of parental rights, severe neglect, Illinois 2022. Elena called to tell me, Wells' parents have emergency custody, he's filing for divorce, the past doesn't stay buried, Wren. I feel nothing, not satisfaction, not pity, just the clean emptiness of a closed chapter. The evening of Cooper's graduation, the three of us stand on my balcony watching the sun set over Chicago. The skyline glows copper and gold, the same colors as the autumn leaves in the park we built together. Cooper suddenly wraps his arms around me, tall enough now that his chin reaches my shoulder. Thanks for not taking the money, he whispers. My chest tightens. Thanks for being brave enough to tell the truth. Declan's arm comes around both of us, solid and sure. We built something better than what broke. The city spreads below us, millions of lights beginning to flicker on as darkness falls. Somewhere in that vast sprawl are other families making impossible choices, setting necessary boundaries, choosing safety over silence. Laughter drifts up from the street below. Piper calls from inside, asking if we want hot chocolate. Cooper pulls away to help her, and I'm left standing with Declan watching our chosen family move through the warm light of home. This apartment, this life, this truth, better than blood, better than lies. The north side wind carries the scent of autumn and possibility. We've built our safe harbor, and it holds.